Let's be real. Most people fail not because they aren't talented, not because they aren't smart, but because they're inconsistent. They show up when they feel like it. They push when they're inspired. But the second life punches them in the face, they back off. That's why they lose. You want success? Then let me tell you right now, motivation is a lie. If you're waiting for motivation, you're already dead in the water, because motivation is a mood. And moods are unpredictable. Some days you wake up fired up, other days you wake up feeling like garbage. If you only show up when you feel like it, you'll never get anywhere. So what's the answer? Discipline. Force yourself to be consistent. Force yourself to show up no matter how you feel. Winners don't operate on feelings, they operate on commitment. Think of the greatest athletes, the most powerful business leaders, the legends in any field. Do you think they woke up every day feeling like training, grinding, pushing? Hell no. But they did it anyway. And that's what separates them from everybody else. Motivation is a powerful force, but it is also fleeting. It comes in waves, unpredictable and unreliable. One day you wake up feeling unstoppable, ready to conquer every challenge in your path. The next day that fire is gone, replaced by doubt, laziness, or distraction. If you rely on motivation alone, you'll never build anything lasting. This is why discipline, not motivation, is the key to success in any area of life. Discipline is what carries you forward when motivation disappears. It is the ability to take action regardless of how you feel in the moment. Successful people don't wake up every day feeling inspired. They wake up and do what needs to be done, whether they feel like it or not. This is what separates those who achieve greatness from those who start strong and fade away. Look at the world's top athletes, business leaders, and creators. Do you think they feel excited about training, strategizing, or creating every single day? Of course not. But they've conditioned themselves to act anyway. They've built habits that remove emotion from the equation. They know that waiting for the right mood is a recipe for mediocrity. If you act only when you feel like it, you'll never reach your full potential. Discipline is the muscle that must be trained. It starts with small commitments. Waking up at the time you said you would, completing the workout you planned, sticking to your word even when it's inconvenient. Every time you follow through on a commitment, you reinforce the identity of someone who is disciplined. Over time, this becomes who you are, not just something you do occasionally. One of the greatest misconceptions about discipline is that it requires willpower. In reality, discipline is about removing decision-making from your routine. If you have to debate with yourself every morning about whether you should exercise, you're leaving room for inconsistency. But if working out is a non-negotiable part of your day, like brushing your teeth or eating dinner, then you don't need motivation to do it. You just do it. The problem with motivation is that it makes people believe they need to feel ready before they take action. This is a trap. Feelings are unreliable. One day you'll feel unstoppable, the next you'll feel like quitting. If you let emotions dictate your actions, you'll always be at their mercy. But when you rely on discipline, emotions become irrelevant. You do what needs to be done, period. Discipline also builds confidence. Every time you follow through, you prove to yourself that you are capable. This creates momentum, making it easier to stay consistent. The more disciplined you are, the less motivation you need, because action becomes automatic. Motivation might get you started, but discipline is what keeps you going. It is the foundation of success, the force that turns dreams into reality. Those who master discipline become unstoppable, while those who wait for motivation remain stuck in place. Who you believe yourself to be determines how you act. Your identity is the foundation of your behavior, shaping every decision you make, whether you realize it or not. People don't act out of willpower alone. They act in alignment with their deepest sense of self. If you see yourself as lazy, you will act like a lazy person. If you see yourself as disciplined, you will behave accordingly. Your actions are not random. They are a reflection of the person you believe yourself to be. Most people try to change their actions without first changing their identity. They say, I want to get in shape, but they still see themselves as someone who struggles with fitness. They say, I want to be successful, but deep down they still believe they are average. When your identity and your goals don't match, your identity will always win. This is why so many people start strong and fall off. They are fighting against the person they believe they are. You cannot outperform your self-image. The key to lasting change is shifting your identity first. Instead of trying to force new behaviors, you must become the kind of person who naturally does those things. If you tell yourself, I am an athlete, then training and eating clean becomes second nature. If you tell yourself, I am a leader, then confidence and decisive action become habits. Your mind works to stay consistent with the identity you adopt. Identity is shaped by repetition. Every action you take reinforces the type of person you are. If you go to the gym every day, you're casting votes for the identity of a fit person. If you show up early and work hard in your career, you're reinforcing the identity of a top performer. It's not about doing something once. It's about doing it consistently until it becomes a part of who you are. The problem is that most people reinforce negative identities without realizing it. They say things like, I'm bad with money, I'm not a morning person, or I always procrastinate. These statements might feel small, but they shape behavior. If you believe you are bad with money, you will subconsciously make choices that keep you struggling financially. If you believe you're not a morning person, you won't even try to wake up early. Your words and thoughts create a cycle that keeps you stuck. The way out is to take control of your identity. Start by choosing a new belief about yourself, then act in alignment with it. If you want to be disciplined, start seeing yourself as a disciplined person. If you want to be successful, act like someone who is already successful. The more you embody the identity, the more natural the actions become. Your identity is the thermostat of your life. It sets the standard for what you accept, what you expect, and what you achieve. Raise your identity and your actions will follow. When you become the kind of person who does what needs to be done, success is inevitable. Success isn't glamorous. It isn't a highlight reel of exciting breakthroughs and instant wins. It's repetitive. It's tedious. It's doing the same things over and over again long after the excitement has worn off. The problem is most people don't want that. They want variety. They want something new all the time. But the truth is mastery comes from relentless repetition. The most successful people in the world understand this, and they don't run from the boredom. They embrace it. The reason most people fail is that they crave novelty more than they crave results. They start a new workout plan and feel excited for the first week, but the moment it becomes routine, they get bored and move on. They launch a business and work hard in the beginning, but once the daily grind sets in, they lose motivation. They try a new habit, but when it stops feeling fresh, they quit. They think they need something new to stay engaged, but in reality, they need to fall in love with the process. The most dominant athletes, the highest achievers, the best in any field, what separates them is not just talent, but their ability to stick with the fundamentals. They don't look for shortcuts. They don't chase the next big thing. They show up every single day and do the work, even when it's not exciting. A champion doesn't win because they found a secret trick. They win because they train the same moves thousands of times. A successful entrepreneur doesn't build an empire because they jump from idea to idea. They win because they committed to the daily execution of their vision, even when it felt dull. Boredom is where most people give up, but it's also where the real breakthroughs happen. When you push through the monotony, you develop consistency. And consistency is what separates those who succeed from those who stay stuck. The gym session that feels pointless, the extra hour of practice when you're tired, the daily habit that seems insignificant, these are the moments that build greatness. Because while most people quit when things get repetitive, the ones who stay disciplined keep stacking wins. The truth is, success is not about constant excitement. It's about showing up and executing even when it feels mundane. If you only work hard when it's fun, you'll never achieve real results. If you want to be great, you have to be willing to do what others won't. Stick with the fundamentals, stay consistent, and trust the process. The people who win are the ones who understand that doing the same thing day in and day out isn't a sign of stagnation, it's the foundation of mastery. If you can learn to embrace the boredom, to find fulfillment in the repetition, to stay locked in even when things feel routine, you will set yourself apart. Most people will never do that, but those who do, they become unstoppable. Most people fail before they even start because they give themselves a way out. They set a goal, but in the back of their mind, they're holding on to a backup plan, a safety net, an excuse, an escape route in case things get hard. And that's the exact reason they never succeed. If you give yourself an option to quit, you will take it the moment things get uncomfortable. The people who make it to the top aren't the ones with the most talent or luck. They're the ones who decide that there is no plan B. It's win or die try. When you keep a backup plan, you're subconsciously telling yourself that you don't fully believe in your success. You're giving yourself permission to fail before you've even started. It's like stepping into the ring for a fight, but already planning how you'll explain your loss. If you're serious about achieving something, you can't leave space for doubt. You have to commit so deeply that quitting is no longer an option. The reason most people cling to backup plans is fear. They want a safety net in case things don't work out. But here's the truth. Safety nets don't catch you. They hold you back. The moment you know you have something to fall back on, you don't go all in. You don't push as hard. You don't fight with the same intensity. The people who succeed are the ones who remove all possibility of retreat. They put themselves in situations where failure is not an option. They create an environment where the only way forward is through. Think about the most successful entrepreneurs, athletes, or leaders. They didn't become great because they had a comfortable backup plan. They made it because they burned the bridges behind them. They put themselves in a position where they had no choice but to make it work. When you remove the possibility of failure, your mind finds a way to succeed. Your creativity, resilience, and problem-solving skills go into overdrive because there is no alternative. There is power in full commitment. When you make a decision and remove all escape routes, you force yourself to level up. You train your mind to adapt, to persist, to push past obstacles that would have made you quit if an easier path was available. That level of commitment creates momentum, and momentum creates results. If you want to succeed, stop giving yourself permission to fail. Stop keeping a backup plan that makes quitting an option. Instead, make the decision that you will succeed no matter what. Act as if there is no other way. Operate as if your life depends on it, because when you have no way out, that's when you find out what you're truly capable of. That's when you become unstoppable. Most people make the mistake of waiting until they feel ready before they take action. They tell themselves, I'll start when I'm motivated, or I'll go to the gym when I feel energized, or I'll work on my goals when I'm in the right mood. But that thinking is completely backward. Feelings don't create action. Action creates feelings. If you wait until you feel like doing something, you'll be stuck in the same place forever. The truth is, emotion follows action. You move first, and then your emotions catch up. Think about a time when you didn't feel like working out, but you pushed yourself to go anyway. At first you were sluggish, maybe even annoyed, but once you started moving, your energy kicked in. By the end of the workout, you felt strong, focused, and accomplished. The action of moving changed your emotional state. The same applies to anything in life. You don't wait to feel inspired to write. You start writing and inspiration comes. You don't wait to feel confident to take the stage, you step on stage. And confidence builds. Most people never reach their goals because they wait for motivation, not realizing that motivation is a byproduct of action. The first step is always the hardest because your mind will try to convince you that you're too tired, too unprepared, or too overwhelmed. But the moment you take that first step, your brain shifts. Your physiology changes, your mind gets engaged, and suddenly what felt impossible a moment ago now feels achievable. The most successful people in the world don't rely on feelings, they rely on habits. They understand that if they act consistently, their emotions will align with their actions. They don't wait for inspiration to strike before they write a book. They sit down and write every single day. They don't wait to feel like leaders before they make tough decisions. They make the decisions, and leadership becomes part of who they are. They don't wait to feel fearless before they take risks. They take the risks, and fear diminishes as they move forward. Action creates momentum, and momentum is everything. The hardest part of any task is getting started. Once you push past that initial resistance, everything becomes easier. This is why discipline is more important than motivation. If you train yourself to act regardless of how you feel, you will always have the upper hand. You won't need to rely on fleeting emotions to make progress. You will control your progress through consistent action. This principle applies to confidence, happiness, success, everything. Want to feel more confident? Start acting confident. Want to feel more productive? Start working. Want to feel more motivated? Start moving. The mistake most people make is assuming that feelings must come first. But the real secret is this: take action and the right emotions will follow. Once you understand this, you will never be held back by hesitation, doubt, or laziness again. You will create your own momentum and nothing will stop you.